Okay, what I'm working on now is the tube. I suppose you could call it the recoil tube, which is mounted under the gun cradle. Now basically I'm using some of the 3-inch galvanized steel piping that I've shown you previously, and I've basically welded a cap on at this end and welded a nut on in the center. Now the reason I've done it like that is because it's similar to how the real one is done. Also, it should hang out at the front of the cradle an inch or two, as shown there. Now this rear end here, you notice that I've enlarged it back to around 4 inches using the leftover barrel from the original Scatterbird unit. So I've just welded that stainless steel plate there with a circle cut out, so that tube fits down inside here and sits on the original disc, which was sat inside here. You know, that disc with a hole in it. So basically that tube goes down, sits on that, and then I've welded that collar so it's nice and solid. Now the reason I've made this larger at this end is because I'm planning, whoa, falling over, I'm planning on putting one of these small propane bottles up inside there and hiding it inside so you won't see the propane bottle. And I should in theory be able to get the regulator and everything hidden up inside there, then just have a tube coming out the end which goes into the box underneath, which basically comes up in the base of the breech into here and then connects to the solenoid. So that should work out quite nicely. Now other things I've got to do are I ordered these switches over eBay, and you can see they're not perfectly waterproof, but they are probably better than a lot of switches I could have gone, or press switches, you see, make contacts. Basically I think I should be able to maybe seal these micro switches up, maybe put wax on them to keep any damp out of them. I could, for instance, even tie a small bag over the whole unit with the wires coming out and pass the bag over the top of that switch there, you know, but I think that would be a little bit over the top. Basically I wanted a unit where the switch was kept more separate from the actual push rod which was in the switch, which was used to operate the switch. So these are going to be mounted there, and there are 2 of them, so that's your so they're going to be the buttons A and B, which were on this panel. Now I think what I'm going to do is I think I'll mount that panel inside like that, and it'll make it more flush. Then I can just put a small hinge flap which will drop and hopefully sit fairly flush on this side. Yeah, so obviously the control board mounts on the back of here, but I won't have to worry about trying to get these 2 press buttons operating perfectly, because I'm going to use these 2 buttons mounted there. Okay, so the next thing I've done is I've welded a piece of this 6mm plating near the front end of this tube, like so. This is actually the bottom of it, and that's going to fit inside the channel at the top end, like so. So that is how it will look, but that's upside down obviously. Now I should be able to slide that gas bottle into the rear end of the pipe quite easily now. So that'll slide in there and that'll be hidden. There's plenty of room in there for the regulator, which I'll be using. Okay, once I've worked out how it's all mounted, I've put it together on the carriage minus the shield. It's easier to put the gun on without the shield attached. So yeah, she's certainly starting to improve. I've got to rig something up for the elevation mounting. I did have a bit of a go at working something out, but I think I'll have to redo it now that I've put the pipe underneath. It's not going to fit. She swings round. Looks okay. Another important part of the design of this gun is the plate which locks the traverse in position while you're transporting it. Now it basically attaches onto two swing positions I've fitted down here, one on that side, one on that side, quite close to the trail mountings, and it's sort of D-shaped. I'll show you what I've done in a moment. I've cut it out of the piece I've used. I've cut out of a 3mm thick steel plate, as I've used for much of this construction. Now, basically, it comes out about 11 inches, and it's around 15-16 inches wide, basically, between the two swivel points. It comes out about 10 to 11 inches, and then has some form of linkage which I don't actually understand yet. I can't get a good picture of how the linkage is done down here. There's basically some sort of linkage which is welded onto this tube here and comes down to the plate. Now I'll go and show you what the plate looks like that I've done up to now anyway. I'm just about to weld the small pipes on for the swivels. I should have two little pipes which are about, say, 15mm long, and then I put two M8 bolts through them. Okay, this is the plate that I've made up. I'll just give you a few measurements in case you're interested. Right. Across here, that is actually 14.5 inches. Yeah. And that measurement there in the centre, that's 7 inches. and the measurement from that 8mm bar to that end there is 11.5 inches. So basically what I'm doing now, you can see I've raised the sides up here. That's about 1.5 inches high here, and then I've changed the angle so that it's got sort of a nice sort of stepped shape to it. You see, if I give you some more measurements here, that there is about 5.5 inches there to a cut, and then I've done that section about 4 inches there. Then I've cut the side again, and that's around 2.5 inches there. Chucking the ruler around. Right, that section there, that works about 3.5 inches. Yeah, so you get the idea of what it looks like. That step in the centre there, that is about 6.5 inches there, and you can see I've got these angles. They're about 40mm. Those flat sections there, them step sections there, you know. Yes, so I think the shape looks quite well when you compare it to pictures of the original one. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm using this bungee cord to basically hold these two pipes in alignment while I weld them on. So I'll see how that goes and show you after I've done it.